Nebraska back on the horse after Kyle King went 12-9. Here's Jordan King, no relation.
He's a Cypress boy from very powerful gymnastics club, coached by Tom Meadows, down in Houston, Texas.
As a freshman last year, one of two Nebraska gymnasts to compete in the Winter Cup. We talked about coming up next week. Personal best 14.85 here on horse a year ago in the Big Ten Championships, and we know about all the talent in that conference in men's gymnastics.
Looking nice, good rhythm, as I've said, but completely off the horse. You know what? His shoulders should have been in front of his hands at that point, and they were nowhere near. So watch his shoulders at the end right here. Should have been in front of the horse, and they were not. And it's all about balance. Pommel horse, if you lose your balance, slight loss of balance, you can fight to get back on, but I'll tell you what, there was really no way he could have saved that after the position he put himself in. Repeating the element. Nebraska actually has the potential to be a really good pommel horse team, and there aren't many of them out there in the NCAA at all.
Statistically, Nebraska number 7 in the nation in this discipline.
But they're capable, like I said, of being much better than that. They just got to put together, you know, a clean run.
Verona bouncing back with a 13-6 the Bears needed. Here's one of their best gymnasts, and Aaron Ma competing in the all-around this evening. When it's 14-7 on floor, had a hiccup on the horse at 12-3. Aaron with a wonderful junior career before coming to Cal. 3 years ago won the all-around title at the Canadian Championships in Ottawa. Coming off an all-around victory in Cal's last meet against the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Very controlled. Doesn't quite have the upper body strength to bring in a really big score. Nice dismount. That's a double back with 1.5 twists. A devalued skill. So watch, 2 flips, 1.5 twists. Darn near stuck that.
On ball for ASU.
Ma put up a 13-4 against Iowa on his way to that all-around crown. Dietzman, the best yet on the table for the Sun Devils, 13-9. Anthony Mills, the freshman from Detroit, next up, and Scott Barkley really likes what he's going to bring to this program for the next 4 years.
Oh, that was gorgeous. Beautiful ball. Did a Yurchenko-style ball to round off onto the table, and then a gorgeous double full. And he doesn't just do it, he does it easy. Look at great height off the table. Just that small little hop forward, but that really good-looking ball. Lots of potential in this. Adds another half turn, and that's competitive with most of the very top gymnasts in the NCAA.
And DeClercq with a stellar score, 14-9. Taylor Seton, the senior from Texas, will try to keep it going for the Cardinal. Coming off a 14-6 on the floor in the win over Air Force.
Really difficult first tumbling run. Done extremely well.
Now we know about his versatility. Former All-American on vault last year, All-American high bar, placed 6th at the NCAA championships.
There have been some rule changes on floor exercise. One that I'm really happy about is you used to see all these skills where there was multiple flipping, multiple twisting, and then rolling out. All of those skills have been banned from gymnastics, finally. Too many of my friends had either rung their bell or some of them had borderline catastrophic injuries from them. It was a great decision from the FIG.
And we know about the raised awareness for concussions and head trauma across the sports world.
Triple twist. Oh boy, got a little hoppy at the end there, but a dynamic exercise. So 3 revolutions around, and really pretty prepared for the landing. 1 hop, another hop. First one was probably going to be a 3/10 hop. The second one only a 10th of a point.
Anton Stevenson.
Nebraska back on the horse. King, 13-1, represents their highest so far. Anton Stevenson, the sophomore from Indiana, the younger of the Stevenson brothers. His older brother Chris transferred from Air Force. Last year, Anton, Nebraska's newcomer of the year here on horse. Best tally this year, 13-7 against West Point, career best 14-5 a year ago against Penn State.
And Anton is a phenomenal athlete, huge potential in the sport, has a lot of the qualities you need to really stand out in gymnastics nowadays. Great lines, he's got to fly up to that handstand, does that dismount.
Yes!
Very nice.
Well done.
So we've seen a lot of difficulty on dismounts. Watch, he flies up to this handstand, but there he puts his hand down in the middle, and that extra pirouette comes off the other side of the horse. That's the way to do it.
Getting closer to the business end of this rotation.
Jordan Alexandra.
Now back on the rings. Ma, 13-4-5. Close to what Verona put up before him. And here's Jordan Alexandrov. Just like Ma, competing in the all-around. Tonight went big on floor, 14-7. Pardon me, 13-8 and then the 12-9 on the pommel horse. Jordan, the junior from Santa Rosa, has dual citizenship from Bulgaria. Won the rings in Cal's last event against Iowa. And took that title with a 13-9.
Really nice swinging combination. Those skills are called Yamawakis, those double front, one in a tuck position and the other with his legs straight or a pike position. Beautiful required skill. You need to show a swing to a handstand like that. And another nice dismount. This should get a very good score. So in that handstand, he is just powering through his wrists and shoulders to stay on balance. You need to keep your rings turned out, and he does that very well, which makes him have a pretty solid base.
No surprise. Mills, splendid, 14-5-5. Here is Nick Garcia, another freshman, back in the Bay Area from Millbrae here in Northern California.
Very nicely done. Tell you what, Arizona State, they've got some gymnasts doing some really difficult stuff. You gotta recognize they are a club program competing on the level of an NCAA program. They're not dealing with any athletes that are getting full rides or anything. These kids are doing this because they love the sport of gymnastics. They enjoyed it in their high school days, and they wanted to continue, and they're doing a tremendous job.
And when we had our conversation with Dr. Mark Slade this week, he said he's had gymnasts turn down partial scholarships because they feel like Arizona State's a better fit for their mindset. Seton, the 14-3, so the anchor now, Jacob Boris, the junior from Texas.
So there are 6 gymnasts competing. Oh, that was gorgeous. Wow, really nice. Double back with 1.5 twist.
Jacob currently tied for number 7 nationally here on floor. Season high, 14-3-5 at the Stanford Open. 9 meets last year in this discipline, went 15-05 at the conference championship.
But remember, last year,
right,
all of the gymnasts starting 5/10 higher, so he's actually doing better. Once again, here's one of those required elements. Need to hold that for 2 seconds. He does.
Earlier tonight, Jacob 14-1 on P-bars, 13-1-5 on the high bar. A reminder, this is rotation 3 of 6 as we jump right into the coverage live here on Pac-12 Networks.
Really patient on that last sequence on the landing. many would have taken a step instantly. A nice job, a little bit of a step on the end, but Stanford is back on track here.
Conglemy, two-time National Coach of the Year. Top 10 finishes the last 11 years and was the senior national team coach for a decade. Stevenson, 13-3-5, best yet, getting to the anchor. Antonio Castro, the junior from Florida.
That was a little bit lower than I thought he was going to get, but I had to remind myself, looked over at the panel. Two great guys, but they can be brutal.
Tim, tell it like it is. Castro medical redshirt 2 years ago.
Boy.
And another shaky moment. And I can give you 27 great numbers from Antonio's past here on horse.
Yeah, well, watch, he is so off balance. He just clips his shins on the end of the pommel horse. Watch right here, doesn't get enough lean to raise his body up. It's kind of like a seesaw. If you're not leaning the right way, you're going to smash into the horse, and that's exactly what he did. He's very capable of doing excellent horse, as you can see.
Well, a year ago made it to the NCAA individual finals on the horse, season high, 14-8, and lost to #1 Oklahoma. Got to a 15-1 last year in the Arnold Classic, trying to find his momentum here.
Great finish after that fall, but I'll tell you, once again, Nebraska has the ability to be a standout pommel horse team. They just got to get the job done. Really nice one pommel work, and then he just scoots up to that handstand, does the proper amount of turning. Really good, barring the fall.
Alexander off at 13-8-5. That's the best for Cal thus far on the rings. Here's a co-captain and a grad student who's already earned his bachelor's degree. Caprisano, first time competing tonight, redshirted last year. You're on ring, season high, 13-8 in the Bears' last meets against Iowa.
Very impressive backup rise to an inverted cross. And this right here, this is how you get the big bonus points on rings. You have to be able to do these massive strength parts. And it's somewhat of a catch-21 because it's like, oh, and he's a little bit off on that swinging combination, but you know, he does all these hard strength parts, and frankly, it's exhausting. And sometimes it's a little bit too much. They're not capable of it yet, and they get tired and they lose more in the end than they would have gotten. I love the mount. I love the whip it to a cross. Just looked like it gassed him a little bit too much.
On ball for ASU, Daniel Blankenberg.
Garcia, 14-3. Last routine of this rotation, the co-captain for the Sun Devils, Daniel Cronenberg, junior from Pleasanton here in Northern California, coming off a 14-2-5 a week ago.
Nicely done. Same ball we just saw, but certainly cleaner and a little bit better of a landing.
Tim, check out his physique. This does not look like your typical gymnast. This could be a linebacker playing for Arizona State.
Big kid, that's for sure. Two flips with two complete twists. Very nicely done.
Daniel listed 6 feet tall, 205. He attacked the table.
He might break it.
So we'll do some math, come back with the tabulation, get you set for the 4th rotation. America's best shining tonight here in Northern California. Stanford, Cal, Arizona State, Nebraska, all part of the Pac-12 Invitational on Pac-12 Networks.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
What does it take to compete in the West? A passion for greatness. Strength and guts. Unmatched balance and speed. Focus and unwavering precision. And the power to land a Yurchenko full and stick it.
Watch on Pac-12 networks, where champions play.
Gonna need one big push.
Congrats! I hear you're having a baby. New York Life can help you manage your family's financial future, so you can relax and enjoy life's special moments.
Be good at life. New York Life.
Home of the Stanford Cardinal. You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Pac-12 men's gymnastics is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Another spectacular day in the San Francisco Bay Area, and plenty of activity on the campus here in Berkeley, and a lot of stellar gymnastics to track here at the Pac-12 Invitational. As we get set now for the fourth rotation, the Cardinal, as you can see, has added to their advantage, tacked on 6 more points. Stanford's in good shape with Arizona State, the club team, in second place, as we just break down the numbers overall, with Nebraska currently tallying second. And then you saw the rest of the arithmetic. And Tim, with so many gymnasts competing at the same time, we're doing our best to track everything going on. Stanford bouncing back after some inconsistent moments on floor.
Well, they have some tremendous athletes. That's all there is to it. They're quality kids. Beautiful stick on a virtually blind landing on that 2.5 twist.
As Jordan DeClerc went 14-9.
Anton Stevenson here on the pommel horse. Actually thought he was going to get a little bit better number than he got. But Nebraska, they struggled on horse, not living up to their potential.
Judges were tough. He only got a 13.35 for that routine. Aaron Ma competing in the all-around for the California Golden Bears.
Really stylish young man. Takes his time with gymnastics, doesn't force anything. Beautiful swing to a handstand. That's called a giant. And then gorgeous dismount. I thought he had that one stuck. Just takes that small hop.
Got a 13.5. And ASU was strong physically and numerically on the table. Anthony Mills went big.
Huge. Watch the height he gets off of this. He just flies in the air. Double twist, does it easily. Could certainly add a half turn to that, and I bet he's working on it every day in the gym.
Was rewarded with a 14.55. As mentioned, Stanford gearing up for the Winter Cup coming up next week in Las Vegas. So a new look lineup as we get deeper into tonight's competition. And for the first time, we'll see Joey Ringer, the freshman from Las Flores in Orange County in Southern California.
And even when you're great, pommel horse, you just never know. At the NCAA level, the national level, even the world and Olympic level, it can be brutal.
Joey coming off the season high 13-8 in the win over Air Force. As a junior, was an Olympic national qualifier horse, and you can see why.
Very good, very strong, especially, you know, he's the leadoff man. Good rhythm. This is called a Russian dismount. 3 times around, and it's a D, and he handles it extremely well.
Stanford, number 5 in the nation on horse. Statistically, that is their worst event. Here's Sanjay Roy for Nebraska. Late change in the lineup.
Nice kip to a cross, and pulls out of that cross, which gets him more points. Very good planche position right there. Hips were open, completely parallel to the ground. They call
the junior from Pennsylvania.
They call them, oh boy. I don't know what happened there, but that was,
you got it.
I think he was supposed to do this skill that double front skill called a Yamawaki, and he kind of just balked on it a little bit. Nice dismount though.
Fired up, and his teammates erupting as well.
Now up on ball, workout, Jonathan Wang.
So I think he was a little gassed also, right there. And then I don't know what he was supposed to do right there. Maybe he didn't know either, obviously. Here's this dismount, double layup, full out. Nice stick of the landing.
Cal has moved over to vault. Wang, a 13-1-5 on floor, 13-1 on rings. Here on the table, and this is freshman year out of Massachusetts, 13-5-5 in his college debut against the Temple Owls.
Nice. Laid out Kasamatsu with an extra half twist. Jonathan has always been a very clean gymnast. Very pleasurable to watch, just always very, very artistic gymnast. Great quality.
Now up for ASU on the parallel bar, Andre Pelletier.
Arizona State will kick things off on the parallel bars, and they do it with the freshman, Andre Pelletier. We know that club programs have major challenges, but here on the West Coast, several have thrived, led by Arizona State. Washington with great success in Southern California. You got Southern California United drawing athletes from both USC and UCLA. Andre 13 flats on the table.
A good routine so far. Nice double pike. Had some deductions though, some bent arms throughout the routine. It's a hit set though, and that's exactly what they're looking for the first guy up. Remember, there are 6 athletes that compete.
Some of the takeaways from our conversation with Scott Barclay: a lot of work to keep this program viable, and they're doing much more than that. They are thriving, attracting some of the nation's best to the Valley of the Sun. Ringer, a 14-1-5, setting the tone. For the first time in the televised portion of our competition, we see Drew Willoughby, the senior from Burlingame, here in the San Francisco Bay Area. As a junior, competed with the Stanford boys gymnastics program a year ago. Here on the horse, 14-1-5 twice, but he's not broken 13 this season.
I'll tell you, starting off with a 14-1-5, that is a very big number, and he is capable of going much higher. He just has got to hit his routine. Look at the height his legs and his hips are above the pommels. Very beautiful technique. Great rhythm. Just the dismount right here. Little bit of a struggle, but that is 2 really good sets for the Cardinal.
So the Cardinal raising its intensity after Ringer broke 14. And you saw the smile from Tom Bleamy for good reason.
Just a little bit of a struggle right there. Probably going to lose about 3/10 because he didn't keep the motion going consistently throughout the dismount. But he got a beautiful circle, a beautiful swing.
We mentioned the Stevenson family after Roy went 13-6-5. Chris is a major talent, a transfer from Air Force Academy, named National Gymnast of the Week last month. Won the floor and the all-around in what proved to be a loss to #1 Oklahoma. Here on Riggs, career best earlier this year, 13-9-5 at West Point.
You know, Nebraska went to the NCAAs last year and they finished 7th. 6 teams advanced to the NCAA finals, and it was heartbreaking. They were 4/10 behind Penn State. I spoke with assistant coach Jim Hartung, and he said, you know, we had it, but we just didn't close the deal.
But that top 7 finished their best since 1999, and when we had our conversation with Chuck Shamilke, said their eyes are on the prize. Take the next step this year.
And they could very well do that. They have the ability, they have the talent, the athletes to get it done. So dismount, that 1.5 twisting, double back somersault. Really nice in the air. Just a small little slide.
On the ball, for
Wang,
Cal,
strong
Nico
number
Del Junco.
38. Here is Nico Del Junco, the senior from Santa Ana, Southern California.
Typically, you'll see the gymnasts get a little bit better as they go up through.
And he hung in there, patient, 13-9 in the last meet against Iowa.
And that's veteran-like right there. You see, most athletes, when that occurs, they panic a little bit and they